Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. I like to post about books, I have too many, and music, mostly Taylor Swift. Today I'm going to be reacting to Demi Lovato's new album, Holy Fuck. I am just so incredibly excited for this one. I have very high expectations because Demi's first few albums were the ones that I was listening to back in their Disney days. That rock sound. I did also like, I think it was her self-titled one. There are some other ones that I've kind of also been interested in, but just that pop punk rock sound is amazing with Demi and their voice. I feel like their voice was just made for that genre. So I'm just very excited to get into this. I know I don't look like the kind of person who would just be so down with this kind of genre shift. I'm aquamarine trash aesthetically, but oh my god, a good angry pop punk Demi Lovato song. Now that's it. So I will have timestamps down below for anyone who wants to skip around. And disclaimer, I will be listening to these through my headphones for copyright and because I don't have good laptop speakers. This sounds like it's 2008 again already. The chorus just hit. I'm impressed. I feel like I'm going to like every single song on this album. This one is giving me the feeling of like Reputation Taylor Swift. And like it's kind of like critiques of the media a little bit here lyrically. The bridge came from the trauma, stayed for the drama, I think it is. She's playing into this idea of her painted out in the media. I keep thinking of the yogurt debacle. I don't even really remember it much at this point. I remember being like, okay, this is kind of ridiculous, but like that's something that people latch on to and remind you of forever when you're at this level of fame. Like people sometimes don't stay in their lane. It doesn't mean you have to remind them of it for the rest of their lives when it's such a minor thing. They're not hurting anybody really. Well, I mean, they might have damaged the reputation of the yogurt shop, but everybody ended up like flocking to it to see what everything was about. So, you know, no harm, no foul. I think the media makes Demi out to be attention hungry, I guess. Anything they do, it seems like people love to say, oh, she's doing it for attention. She's kind of got that reputation for herself, unfortunately, and she kind of strikes back in this song. We have Youngblood like screaming on this. This is just, I feel like I'm 9 years old again. Their voice sounds just like it did then, like just the strength. God, I hope she takes care of her voice forever, so it just like always has that quality. It's amazing how long it's been and she still has such power, even with like touring and all of the stuff she's put her body through. This one has the same melody in the pre-chorus. Get your tickets to the freak show, baby. Step right up to watch the freak go crazy. It's that like da 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 da, but like slowed down. I wonder if that's just in the public domain or did they have to sample that? That's interesting. It adds this carnival-esque sound to it, which I really like. Kind of makes me think of like some of the stuff Melanie Martinez has done, but this is way like harder. There's so much guitar and yelling. I'm a fan. Pretty good opener. Skin of My Teeth, we know this one. I thought the part in the bridge with all that vocal growliness, I thought that was a vocal effect in production, but then she did it live. I was very impressed. This is so good. She goes straight into the chorus after a very short verse, very successfully. Like it doesn't at all feel like she's rushing to the chorus. It just hits really nicely. The structure is good. Such a good lead single. In the bridge when she goes an octave up for the second half of it, oh god, her voice is just like killing it. The song's incredible. I really didn't think they were going to top Dancing with the Devil as far as themes go. Like Dancing with the Devil, The Art of Starting Over is such a good album, and they released that literally last year, like 2021, and now a year later they have a whole new album that is also amazing. I know we're only on track 2, but like I promise you this album is gonna be amazing. She's in her prime. I'm just so happy we still have Demi Lovato. This is a clever title. She does some very clever things with really personal things to her. Oh my god, it's giving Paramore. I love this guitar. It's so like clean right now. I'm sure we'll see a lot more distortion on guitars on this album, but this really clean sound on electric is also really nice for like a good break every few songs. Her lyrics, don't want to end up in a casket head full of maggots. It's so good. But god, the pain this has to come from. That line about the casket and the maggots. I always think about how like desperately they don't want to be like their father and like what happened to him and how they found him. This is not the first time she's written stuff like that, like how desperately she doesn't want to end up like that. It's such a good song, but it's like sad. As I said before, the pain this kind of stuff has to come from. Wow, this intro is so distorted. This chorus, oh my god, I'm shocked. It sounds like an action movie trailer. Dinner served, it's on the floor. You'll have to eat me as I am. I have goosebumps. Choke on it. Oh my god. Okay, so, god, I have freaking goosebumps and my legs are prickly. I hate that for me. So what we're seeing as far as themes and lyrics go is like a lot of stuff that Demi has sung about before. This is also like very like fuck you to the media. However, like kind of parallels, I think, between like now and then her Disney days. Would you like me better if I was still her? I just keep thinking back to that. I mean, that was a very controlled situation she was in. Image was everything. Nobody really knew who the real Demi was, but now we all do. So definitely stuff she's written about before, but it has never sounded like this. Even her older stuff from her Disney days, she never explored that topic back then because that was the girl they adored that she's singing about in this one. And by the time she was doing those very vulnerable, honest songs, she was doing them in a pop genre. So now we're seeing that with her original rockish sound. So I just feel like this is the perfect mix, you know? If that's the kind of style she loved so much this whole time, bring it back, but you don't have to do the same kind of lyrics as she did back then. She's bringing that vulnerability and honesty that we've seen in her more recent career to these rock songs, and I think it's the perfect marriage. This is good. That is intense. It's very intense. It's got such a distortion that it literally feels like an action movie trailer. Now we have the title track. I'm excited for this because the Dancing with the Devil title track last year was just the most amazing song on the album. She can hit some really good high notes, but her lower register is also like amazing. That first verse, she just keeps climbing down. I don't think I can even go that low. I'm impressed. Me now realizing that it's not an exclamation that's the title of the album, it's a noun. I've definitely said, oh, holy fuck before, but that's not the right context. Take a bite of what I'm doing. A lot of lyrics about biting and like eating, graphic, like morbid kind of stuff. Oh, now the rhythm's like changing up. There's a really electronic noise happening with the guitar solos. Ooh, it ended so suddenly. There was no outro. It just freaking cut with the guitar strum. I definitely think Skin of My Teeth is like better, and I'm glad she opened the era with that as a single. I wouldn't say it's as good of a title track as Dancing with the Devil, but I love that it's the title of the album because the whole like holy fuck being a noun and not an exclamation. I feel like that's going to surprise some people. So there's a lot of references to religion. I feel like people might get heated about this. My body's the communion. Oh my god. I don't know anything about religion if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, lots of like biblical images, I think. So it's lusty and Jesus-y. That hook is probably like the best part. Is this gonna be like some kind of ballad, like making it to 29? You think of the like 27-year-old people who are artists who leave us too soon, and she made it past that. So the guitar pans from ear to ear so quickly. I'm dizzy. I'm already obsessed with this one. I'm obsessed with this. Oh my god. Holy shit. I'm gonna cry. I'm mad. I'm gonna be screaming this for the rest of my life. This is my favorite one so far. This is like starting to kind of make sense in the context of her other albums. I think about Warrior. I was really obsessed with that song in high school because when I was 14 years old, a guy who was 18 was going after me. I mean, that's definitely not as big of a gap as like 17 and 29, but like he was an adult and I was not even able to drive. Really far from even being able to drive in a car with a parent. Back then I listened to Warrior so much, and this feels like it sheds some more light on that kind of storyline. I really love the last chorus. Finally 29, 17 would never cross my mind. That is so incredibly relatable. I feel like so many people are going to relate to this. I remember when I was a senior in high school and I was finally 18, and I was actually in a class with freshmen, which were still older than I was. Like when I was 14, I was like, had just turned 14, I was in 8th grade. But looking at those freshmen, I was like, this is literally insane to me. Like, you see a freshman and that is like a whole ass infant. That's what I was thinking. Like once I turned 18, I was like, my god, I'm finally that guy's age that he was. Just the things you learn in 4 years. With Demi, it's a very long period of time, but like 4 years to a teenager is a lot. I feel like I've learned more from 14 to 18 than I did from 18 to 22. I'm 23 now. 18 and 22 wasn't that big of a difference, but like 14 and 18, enormous. That's so much time. Just like 17 and 29, that's a very long time. That's incredible. I'm obsessed with this song. It makes me think of Happier Than Ever, which I'm also very obsessed with. All Too Well 10-minute version. You said if we had been closer in age, maybe it would have been fine. That made me want to die. I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age. You will find throughout my music related videos. Those are the kind of things I really gravitate towards for personal reasons. That's an amazing song. It's not really a ballad at all, but it's definitely a more sad kind of slightly stripped back song. Doesn't Avril Lavigne have a song called Happy Ending? I Met God Just for a Minute. Wow, this visual. I love the beginning of the chorus. It's so minimal. Oh, the drums. I love when a song builds like that. This feels very early 2000s. Oh, there's a chanty post-chorus, like outro thing. This would be so cool to hear live and like sing along with it in the crowd. I want to see her live. Does she tour anymore? I actually was supposed to see Demi Lovato live in like 2010. I think it was the Camp Rock tour when she had her breakdown and punched her backup dancer. So my date got canceled. So I never got to see her. Her and the Jonas Brothers it was. Ugh, so sad, but I still want to see her. I'm liking these drums. I'm really liking these drums. I love this. Cut it off. Wow, this slaps. This is like, I am obsessed with this. Oh, cut your hand off if you find it sinning. Oh, I get it. Oh my god, the choir at the end and then she laughs. That's amazing. Oh my god. Okay, so more like themes happening in this album of like connecting like your sexuality and then religion. These lyrics, they're really clever. I like when artists, if they're gonna make a song that has this kind of content to it, like make the lyrics clever. Make it something that no one else is saying in songs like these. I found myself with my two little fingers. Oh my god. Going to hell because it feels like heaven is such a good hook. I can't even explain to you. Well, she's bold. I like this. She's really just like telling us her story here. Also, a good point that's on Genius is that this could also be something that is applied to the LGBTQ community if they have like a background that's religious and very unaccepting. You know, it's not just people being like comfortable with their sexuality. It's also like, are you part of a community that the church sometimes isn't friendly towards? But yeah, I think she's being very obvious. It's not quite about LGBTQ in the second verse. A lot of people could probably find this relatable. I didn't know there was a, what's it called where you have the number and the two dots and then another number from the Bible verse. If your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It's better to lose one part of your body than your entire body to hell. I was never exposed to religion, so this is just like batshit crazy to me that we let stuff like that dictate our lives. Or at least you can do whatever you want to do. You know, if you want to live by whatever books or rules or whatever you want to do, but like the way it's pushed on people, especially like teenagers, it's weird. It's really weird. I like how I was confused what cut it off meant and then I was like, oh, okay. Ooh, kick drum. These lyrics. I love the breakdown in the bridge. The Ayo Red to Ayo line. This song is so funny. I love it. It's got such good melodies too. This is probably some of the like most catchy melodies on this album. At Saddle Ranch, I'll ride. Saddle Ranch. She couldn't have picked anywhere else. It makes me think of Ariana saying, did we all have to go to Saddle Ranch that fucking badly? Obviously, Demi needs to. I'm literally having a crisis over the line, you call me they, but I'm still daddy's girl. Oh my god. She's crazy. I'm obsessed with her. Again, amazing production. Every single piece of production on this album is flawless. It's making me think of Avril's album Love Sucks a little, like kind of attempting to bring back that pop punk, and honestly with these two I think we've done it. Like we've done it. All we need is like Fall Out Boy to return. I think they haven't put out an album since, geez, what, since 2017. That's like the only thing left that I need for a full return here. This has amazing lyrics. It's funny, it's morbid. Before they go and write my eulogy, come make this place new to me. Yeah, there's not much to say. It's funny, it's sexual, but it's well written. Like it's clever and humorous. She even acknowledges that it's like humorous, it's not super serious, because the first verse is like, oh, I've been here for 15 years, I'm bored to tears, there's nothing left to do, this town is heaven sent, but better when I'm face down under you. She thinks it's funny, I think it's funny. Whoa, this one's like disco. This is groovy. These pre-choruses are really consistently slapping. I get the title now. The melody of the chorus makes me think of Kesha. I don't know what it is, the like lower tone or something, the whispering. I really like the verses, the ending. Okay, so now we're seeing a similar thing to what she did with the title track, Holy Fuck, like Bones. I'm like, oh, what is this? Is it gonna be like a morbid type of thing? And it's let me jump your bones. I really like the disco influences on this one. I think it's so fun. I kind of wish they carried over more into the chorus, but it's not something that sticks out to me much. Like it's not like two different songs happening. It's just that the verses are way more groovy, I guess. Really good genre appropriate lyrics again. I think it is one of the weaker ones lyrically, but it's by no means bad. Like a lot of people still aren't writing songs this good, but yeah, I think it's more for just the grooviness probably and the little hidden meaning of bones until you actually listen to the song, then you see what she's talking about. Oh, I love these chords. This one's a little slower and I'm really liking it. The track listing is really nice. It doesn't get overwhelming or like too much. Because with music this heavy, it can do that sometimes, but it's just not happening on this track listing for me. She really said vocals. I love that outro being so quiet. The dynamic contrast on this album is just really nice. I love when songs aren't like completely loud or completely quiet, like they have like a build up and down kind of thing. So this is the age-old concept of like comparing loving someone to a drug, but I think it definitely is different every time Demi does something like that because of her background, obviously. If it genuinely does feel like the high that she has experienced from drugs, that's gotta be kind of scary to like, I guess, feel that adrenaline, but from really liking someone. Like if it's really making her think of that experience that was awful for her, that might be triggering. It feels like it's dangerous and I want to chase it. Yeah, it's probably such a weird feeling when you know it in a horrible, horrible context. It's pretty good. I definitely love the arrangement. That's a Beatles title. I love this guitar. The pre-chorus is sung faster than the verse. It's so catchy. Demi. She did it again with the title being dirty, but you don't realize it. This is so good. This literally has like really, really good melodies. Probably some of the best ones, and arrangement, and it's very like... What is that one Demi Lovato song? She has a song called Together featuring Jason Derulo. I literally learned this song on the guitar and played it for a recital when I was like 10, and I was playing guitar and singing it, and I had my guitar teacher playing like drums behind me. Oh my god. Yeah, I was thinking this hook sounds familiar in a way, and she literally has a song called Together. As you're listening to it, you really just don't realize it's sexual until you look at the lyrics, I guess. It's so empowering and fun and happy. It makes me think of the way like Taylor Swift writes these like sensual songs, kind of like just very catchy and good and kind of subtle, but like when you look into it, you're like, yeah, I really like this one. I don't like the sound of that. I don't like that it's coming after Come Together. I'm afraid. Oh no. Yep, now they're doing the thing kind of like what Taylor does with Lover, where she puts Soon You'll Get Better between London Boy and False God. Yep, Demi's doing that now because this is some sad shit. They're really good at writing lyrics. I'm upset. Wow, the title with this one is actually pretty much what you're expecting is what you're going to get. As they sing it though, it still is kind of jarring. Like it's very blunt. I feel like people dance around the word dead and use euphemisms a lot. I mean, you can't even say it on TikTok without getting flagged, so everybody just says unalive, which was kind of funny in the beginning, and now it's just like another euphemism. The lyrics are so good. The first verse is kind of basic, like I'm breathing in and out, they don't. I watch the sun go down, they won't. I'm waking up, they never will. I dance with the devil, I made it through hell and I don't know why. How am I different? I did and they didn't, and it doesn't feel right. The honesty on this one, god, Demi just will never stop being so incredibly honest on their songs. We're almost done with the album, and literally a few weeks ago I did a review of Dancing with the Devil and I said I feel like this is their best album, and now I guess I'm just gonna stop saying that every time they release an album because I guess they're just gonna keep getting better and better, and I don't know if I could even really rank them. I just feel like they're all so good, and it's the vulnerability and the honesty. Like you see it on so many tracks on every album she puts out. Not every single one is this blunt, but the fact that they keep doing that is what like makes Demi Lovato still so amazing to me. The second verse, I spot the satellites like we used to do, blow smoke rings to the sky like they'll fly to you. I wish that I could jump right into the blue for a moment with you. This is so detailed. Like I really feel like she is just like laying in her backyard blowing smoke rings to them. This is upsetting. I love when artists are detailed with their lyrics because then it's like you were writing something original and not like cliche like everybody else has written before. But also, my god, it becomes so much more painful when you know that they actually experienced something and it's a very original picture that they're painting. It just makes it so much more real. I love that for us, and I hate that for us. I don't think any of us were prepared for this. I don't know who that featured artist is, but it's kind of funny that she comes after Dead Friends. Wow, I wasn't prepared for that featured artist. Her voice is really different from Demi's. Okay, so we have another song that's kind of like, I think kind of criticizing the media, or maybe it's someone in her personal life who's like giving their unsolicited advice. I think it's one of the weaker ones. I was losing interest a little bit with the instruments, and the lyrics aren't quite as good as some of the other ones, but I think the pre-chorus is interesting. You say, suck it up, there's nothing I can do but throw the two birdies up up. There's nothing I can do when I'm really feeling depressed. And you know when you're this low, there's really no benefit. I really like that last line because it makes me think of what I said earlier, where people think any move Demi Lovato makes, like changing their pronouns or just anything she says, is like such an attention-seeking thing. Like that's how it's painted out to be in the media. And she's saying like any of her issues that are made public, first of all, usually it's not something she's choosing, it's just something that has leaked, like paparazzi or relentless. And she's saying, you know, when you're this low, there's really no benefit, like to subject yourself to scrutiny in the name of trying to create buzz for yourself, I guess, some kind of financial benefit as a celebrity. But when you're feeling that low, to like subject yourself to all those opinions, there's no benefit in that at all. Those are usually the times when people like to go off of social media and not want to be perceived by anyone outside of their like immediate circle. That's why I think that line is like the most interesting. However, when she says, you know, when you're this low, there's really no benefit, they don't know. I mean, most people have not gone through like half the shit Demi has gone through. And in general, like mental health is still so stigmatized. Like depression, some people don't even really know what that's like. So no, I would say they don't know when you're this low, there's no benefit. I think those are the only standout lines. This one's all right. Okay, so we have more like eat me, whatever lines were happening in Freak that I already forgot about, like those kinds of imagery. We've got piano for the first time in this entire album. This chorus. I like this title too because it's not what you're expecting. It sounds so grungy and graphic, but then you listen to it, it's I've got two wolves inside of me, but I decide which one to feed. That's really cool. It's not what you're expecting. And it sticks with the theme of like the titles being very grungy, so it's satisfying. Oh my god, the humming at the end. Wow. Vocal effects. I love that. These lyrics are really good. It's got this mellowness that is starting to kind of lose me, but that's really not bad to be, what, on like track 14 was it, of a 16 song album, and I'm only just now starting to feel like the music is getting a little bit the same. Really good lyrics. One wolf howls while the other one sings. One wolf sues while the other one stings. That's so cool. I just love the chorus. My demons are on the hunt, but my angels taught me how to run. It's very simple and very original. I got two wolves inside of me, but I decide which one to feed. I also like that she's taking that like autonomy of her choice back, I guess. You know, in Skin of My Teeth, she says like, I just want to be free, but I can't because it's a disease. Like, there are a lot of people who try to place the blame so much on that person that like, oh, you know how the argument goes. I'm not going to explain that. But like in this one, she's recovered, I'm assuming, for the most part. She has autonomy over like whether she will relapse or not. I mean, the act of withdrawing, there are a lot of awful things that can happen that she doesn't necessarily have control over, but like, you know, there are still decisions to be made that can send you down a dark path that you've already been on, and she is taking accountability in this. I love their honesty. I love it on this one. Even though musically it's not hooking me, lyrically I'm very into it. Acoustic guitar for the first time. This sounds like Iris. It sounds like Catch Me. Violins? No, that's a cello or an upright bass. This is so early Demi. The instrumental bridge is insane. I think this also reminds me of that song Iris. I haven't listened to it in a long time though. This is such a good soft ending that you just aren't expecting when you go into this. It starts off so grungy, rocky, pop punky, and then we end with this like Iris inspired thing. I think this is even better than Dancing with the Devil because I feel like there were some kind of like clubby songs that I just wasn't vibing with a whole lot on Dancing with the Devil, but this is like, I could go back and listen to every single one of these and just feel very satisfied. It's very cohesive, like with the music. I really liked that. Oh my god. I actually don't think the lyrics on Forever for Me are that great now that I look at them. Well, I like the thing about meeting his mother. That's pretty cool and like descriptive. It's a lot of like, I can't hold back, I'm falling in love. Here I go speaking honestly. I think this is Forever for Me. Not like her most like original hook, but I just love that it's so obviously inspired by Iris in a way that's so Demi. The lyrics are very different from that song. I like that she didn't take too much like lyrical inspiration from it, but the vibes are Iris, and the like production. Yeah, this is really pretty, and it also just makes me think of Catch Me and, you know, just some of her earlier things. So I am a fan. Now let's talk overall about the album. I want to give you my favorite tracks because that's what I usually do for album reactions, but I'm afraid it's going to be like every single one except for like maybe 3. Like I feel like there were a few towards the end that I was like, you know, I'm losing interest a little. Was it Help Me and Feed? I think that's it. Those are the only 2 that I'm like, I love every single one. Those two might grow on me with time because I definitely don't dislike them. I love Freak, I love Skin of My Teeth, I love Substance, I love Eat Me, I love Holy Fuck, I love Happy Ending, Heaven, City of Angels, Bones, Wasted, Come Together, Dead Friends, Forever for Me. Can I narrow it down to 3? Shit, I can't do it. Skin of My Teeth, Substance. I'm picking the singles because those are the ones I remember the most because I've listened to them the most. Crap, guys, I can't do it. This is really hard. I don't know how to pick favorites. Yeah, it's all just really good and I like the themes. We've got different things that are exploring the concepts of religion, sexuality, the media. I like the critiques of the media. There's not a whole lot, but it's definitely got a share of the holy fuck pie. It definitely also discusses her experiences like with her overdose. I think that's always, from this point on, I think it's just going to be something that's going to be featured on every album, at least a little bit. It also makes things like, anytime she says anything like, I'm heaven sent, I think that was a line in one of the songs, it just makes it hit a lot harder when you know the context behind that. I think we'll continue to see that in their work. Survivor's guilt on Dead Friends. There's a lot of concepts being explored here, but there's also a lot of things that are shared among all the tracks. The grungy vibes of like Bones and Feed and Skin of My Teeth and Freak and Eat Me, like those titles, everything is really making sense for the genre. I just really like what they're doing here. I'm very happy with this album. I knew I would be. It lived up to my expectations. I think that's all. Please let me know your thoughts down below on this album if you want to rank tracks or if you want to give me your Demi Lovato album ranking of like your favorite albums versus your least favorite. Feel free to leave all of that below. If you have any requests for me, please leave them down in the comments. If you want to follow me on my Instagram, it is right here. And if you want to follow me on my TikTok, that is right here. I will see you all next week for an Avril Lavigne related video. I will be reacting to Under My Skin, I think it is. I'm going through her entire discography. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye guys.